Hey y'all. Hello, everybody. Hmm. Let's see. We are live. Hmm. Okay. So today, yikes on bikes. So today I started um answering the common questions or addressing the common um statements that have been made across several reels or TikToks, so across platforms, right? Okay. So, one of the first things that I talked about today was based on a parent asking for clarification about what does a completed application look like? Is it complete in the way that complete in the way that everything is submitted to the college or university? Or is it that we did our part and some things are outstanding, but they will still act on the application? Essentially, that was a question. And so another parent followed up and was like, that's what I'm having trouble comprehending as well. And so I said, all right, I'm going to answer that in a reel. And I did. Now, here's the thing: a completed application, there are distinctions, but for my purposes, our purposes, a completed application is one where you, the student who is the applicant, you have submitted everything that you are responsible for submitting. That's it. So everything that you are responsible for submitting, that is what you submit. Now, the other thing that is a factor is how you are applying to your institution. If you are using the direct institutional undergraduate application, then you I'm going to say you may have a little bit more wiggle room than if you were using another method to apply to your institutions. The other part to that is the undergraduate, the institutional undergraduate applications for colleges and universities that still have their own application independent of the Common App, independent of the Black College Common App. They control their application. So if you're going to use that method, you have a greater chance of giving yourself a little bit more wiggle room to get what you want. But if you did not know that, or if you did not know or think to look for whether or not the institutions that you're interested in, whether or not they have their own application still available, then you would miss that. And so then you would be waiting until August, until the platform that you're using would have all of the elements in it to mark it as complete to be submitted. If you don't have to do that, then don't do it. Don't do it. The other thing that people have brought to me, parents have brought to me, is that the Common App doesn't open until August 1st. And this is before I really got into what I've been talking about since Monday, since this past Monday. Here's the thing, guys. I'm not talking about the Common App. I'm not talking about the Common App. I'm not talking about the Common App on purpose. Okay? So, for example, or to be specific, saying that the Common App does not open until August 1st, yes, I know. I've worked in high school and college access before. I've worked in admissions. I understand how all this goes, which is why what I say is very specific, or I say I'm being general. So, if the Common App does not open until August 1st, and that the implication for that means could be that the application has to switch over, then if you try to start it now, you risk losing information because it's not for the current year. So, if we know that's how that platform is set up, and if you have done your research to figure out whether or not your college or university has their own application, if you know that they do, and if they do, you can just use that instead. Why would you not? Why would you not? I'm telling y'all that you should. Because waiting does not benefit anybody but the Common App. Right? Think about it. The Common App, we all know, does not open until August 1st. But I'm telling y'all that some institutions have their own applications open right now. And you can submit an application for fall 2027 right now. Right this second. Now, here's the other thing. I am a lady of a certain age. I am. I'm a lady of a certain age. And when I say that, I mean that I am old enough. I am old enough to have applied to college without using the Common App or the Black College Common App. I'm old enough to remember when my alma mater, the first one, Howard University, got on the Common App. I remember when Howard switched over to just using the Common App for undergraduate admissions. I remember that. Howard was the first HBCU to be put on the Common App. That was in 2015. Howard should have migrated to the Common App only for admissions somewhere around 2017, 2018, 2019. 2019 might be pushing it. I'm old enough to remember that. I applied to Howard using the institutional undergraduate application, and it was paper. That's how old I am. Now, I am a lady of a certain age, but I'm also younger than, at least 20 to 30 years younger than people who are still school counselors now or administrators in public schools, private schools now, who would not have used the Common App either. They would not have used the Common Black College app, either because they're older than those two platforms, or their college or university was not on either platform to use as an application method. So, who told us, y'all, not me though, who told the people that it is better to use these platforms exclusively? Who made the people believe that? Who made the people believe that? Because yes, those are two tools. They're effective if you can use them strategically with great intention. But they're not the only way for a good deal of institutions. For Howard, sure. For the University of Virginia, sure. For who else is on it exclusively? Or maybe not so exclusively. We'll stick with those two for now. Who told us that? Who told the people that that was the way to go, the best practice? Because I assure you it's not. And it's not. How I know it's not is because A, I'm a higher ed professional, right? But B, I have parents and students in my comments, in my DMs, surprised because it's a whole new world. You mean I don't have to wait? No, you don't actually. If the school that you want to attend, that you want to apply to, if their application is open, then you don't have to wait. But are you prepared to apply? That is the question, and that is the problem. I have been talking about a student who DM'd me last week and how since she has gone through or had attended a How to Reach Hillman session earlier this year, she knows differently and she knows better. And so, because she knows differently, knows better, she wanted to get a head start, which is not even a head start, it's just on time at this point. And so she went to her school counselor. And her school counselor told her, oh, there's nothing for you to be worried about. There's nothing for you to do until senior year. Meanwhile, she knows differently and she knows better. And so do her parents, because they've been in my workshop. And I explained to them how out-of-state admissions actually works. And so at the point that she told me this last week, there was still some time for her to have gotten some support before school was out for the summer. School was out on Friday. This was maybe June 2nd. School was out on June 5th. Whole time, the applications, 2 applications at this point today, and likely last week, because I've been checking certain application portals every other day, every 2 days, something like that, right? There are, on her list, she has 6 schools: Howard, A&T, FAMU, Norfolk State, Clark Atlanta, and the University of Michigan. I told y'all on Monday, this past Monday, that this happened, and that the problem with what she was told by her school counselor to wait, that she doesn't have anything to do until school starts, until senior year. The problem with that is at least 2 of those institutions are accepting applications for people who will start college in fall 2027, right now, today. And she was told she had to wait. She doesn't actually have to wait if she had or has all of her materials. She doesn't actually have to wait. But now she's forced to wait. What part of this, when the people told y'all, that the Common App or the Black College Common App was the way to go, the best practice, the best thing to use, who were they centering? Who benefits the most? I can tell you who's not benefiting from being told to wait. That student. She does not benefit from this. And other students like her who aspire to attend a college or a university, a public college or university that is outside of their home state, they do not benefit from this. Yet it's their reality. So I've been here for a while on a slight soliloquy, you know. Hold on. Checking my phone. They don't benefit. And personally, I think that's just that's crazy. That's wild. And so I have been teaching this actually for a decade inside of my How to Reach Human workshop. It's not a secret. I have only just recently have begun talking about it in this way, and it's taking the people by surprise. Even people who are older than these two platforms, taking them completely by surprise, as if they did not do something different themselves. I'm restoring agency and choice to the people, to y'all. Uh, Take it, run with it, make something of it. Okay? Because I'm telling you, you don't have to live this way. You are actually not as restricted as you've been made to think. So, I hope this helps. Um, yeah, I'm gonna stop here. All right, y'all. I will see y'all on the timeline in and around hither and yon. All right, peace.